Hi everybody, welcome back to the Health and Wellness in Bayonne show. I am your co-host, Dr. Mike Acanfora, and I'm with Kathy Pacifico, our new co-host.
Oh, well, that's an honor to be here with you. It's great to be back with you.
And I just sprung that on you.
You just did that, which is, I don't know if it was April Fool's. Not yet.
It's February.
Kidding.
So we had a preamble in talking about different topics that we'd like to discuss. And originally we were going to talk about goal setting, but that kind of went out the window.
Yeah, the snowstorm came, blew that away.
We have no opportunity to talk about goals and setting and all that neat stuff.
And I'm sure with that happening, it happened with many people. You know, the statistics show that most people drop their New Year's resolution anyway within the first week, 25%, and another 60% stop within the first couple of months. So why do you think?
Wait, that means they can actually restart, right?
They can. They still have a chance. They still have a chance to get back on track. Why wait another, what is it? We have 60 days, maybe 302 days to start their new resolution. They could get on track.
Yeah, they can actually start it. That's awesome. So we can talk about goals then.
I think we could.
All right. So we were talking how.
Well, no, I don't like to set goals.
Right. You don't like setting goals.
No,
and I actually don't call them goals. I call them objectives now.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about why you don't like setting goals and what is actually more appropriate than setting goals.
Well, actually, I am very goal driven. So I kind of am playing with you. I think that what I've found is that most people don't enjoy setting goals. Mm-hmm. You know, in our business, we tend to want to find out how we can help people the best way they can and help them set goals and objectives. And when we introduce and we meet with someone and we're identifying some of the things that they are looking to achieve, and we ask them about some of their goals, oftentimes they shy away from setting a specific goal.
Sure.
I had a fun incident with my mother. My son, we were out celebrating an event, and my mother had made a comment to my son regarding, your mom, I just need to ask you, is your mom asking you about your goals? And my son is 15, and he rolled his eyes. Yeah, my mom's asking me about my goals. And so she turned to him and said, I'm 70 years old, and she's still asking me about my goals. So we're all laughing at the table because they know how goal-driven I am, because I really believe a goal is nothing but a dream with a deadline. And so
there you go.
I love setting goals. And so I turned to my mom and I said to her, Mom, let's forget goals. Just talk to me about your dream lifestyle. What would you like to do with Daddy? I said, you just said you're 70. What do you want to do and be? And so she stopped, she sat up, and she says, now you're talking. And she started telling me about her goals.
There you go.
Well, her dream lifestyle. And so I think that what I've learned over the years is that we have to give people permission to dream again.
Absolutely.
I don't think that they've allowed themselves that. Probably since they were a kid and they were dreaming about maybe Christmas time or the holidays or their birthday, and they dream about what they could do, and they're so young and innocent, they dream big when they're younger.
Absolutely.
And then we grow up and we forget to dream.
I think that people actually go on autopilot. Like they just go about their business until something happens. Or they wake up and it's 20 years later and they're 40 pounds overweight and they have no idea how that happened.
Right.
So, some of the things that we talk about to our practice members in our offices, I know you hurt your back when you lifted that envelope that weighed 40 pounds. Mm-hmm. And people are like, no, it was just a regular envelope with, And my point is that it's not the same envelope, it's what they have been doing for the last 20 years. And this is a wake-up call. Mm-hmm. So where are they going? So what you talked about, which is really interesting, is allowing people to dream. Mm-hmm. So when we dream, And what you said was brilliant. So when we dream and we have a plan, it actually leads to a goal.
Yeah, we do different programs at the club, and we were doing an event, and it was a weight loss challenge. And so we were talking to different members that were interested, and they were sharing what they wanted to, achieve. And we'd say, okay, so tell me a little bit about what you want to get out of the program. How much do you want to lose? And I remember speaking to a young girl, and she said to me, I want to lose about 20 pounds.
Okay.
And I could sense that she, was in a space where she could really benefit from losing a lot more than 20 pounds. Right. And yet I didn't want her to feel a sense of pressure, but I had said to her, I said, that's a great place to start. And if you could lose all of your weight, what would that be like? How much would that be for you? And she said, wow. She said, if I can lose all of my weight? And it clicked for me there because I gave her permission to dream a little bit.
Yes.
And people, I think, I found that there's 3 keys to motivation, and it's focus, belief, and habit. And a lot of times we don't believe that that's even possible, or it could be going for a career. Or
sure.
It could be finding the spouse or a partner in your life.
Absolutely.
You have to start with certain belief systems in your makeup, and so I think that being able to provide that opportunity for somebody to believe again is a good place to start.
That's awesome. So how would we do that? Like, what would you do in the club to help provide or shift that belief that they can't do it? So how would that look for you?
They would look a lot like fun. It's being able to sit down with them, and first starting with, we say a dream is a goal is nothing but a dream with a deadline. So we'd want to create the next thing I'd like to do is create a plan.
Sure.
And so we would look at their lifestyle. What has brought them to where they are today, and look at some of the habits that they've had.
Absolutely.
And look at fun ways that they can create new habits and new rituals that they can adopt that, one, allows them the freedom to make choices. Because I think we choose to do and be and experience certain things in a life. And so this person has a choice to make a difference, feel better about themselves, not shift the energy from losing something to really gaining control back in their life, and really being able to, get a handle on things and make better decisions. And I think with the rituals, having specific intentions that she sets up for, she walks into this opportunity with an intention to have a certain outcome now, and she sees a bigger picture. It starts with that grand picture.
Absolutely.
We allow, I believe, the space for somebody to understand what the consequences may be along the way, and to understand how to negate those, providing with the plan certain obstacles that they're going to have to overcome.
Absolutely.
And be more proactive in looking at what the past has been and how we want to really lead into a better plan as we look at the future.
Absolutely. So you're already setting up and letting them know that you're not going to go from point A to point B in a straight line. There's going to be some obstacles that you have to zig and zag, and there's going to be some things that get in the way. And that's what's brilliant, and that's what allows, science shows, what allows for people to succeed in whatever endeavor they're trying to do. When you do that forward thinking and show them that these are the obstacles, it already lets them know that it's not easy, but it's not difficult either.
With a plan, we can accomplish anything.
Exactly.
And when you set the intention right from the beginning with what they want, and you let them know that this is what has been some of the history, and this is what we're going to do a little bit differently, how do we have fun? How do they enjoy the learning journey?
Yes.
And not have it be a setback where if something doesn't go as planned, it's all over.
Absolutely.
And they give up like after 3 weeks.
Right.
They're done with their New Year's resolution. It didn't pan out.
Absolutely.
Did they set it up for success?
Right
from the beginning? Did they really think about, and I like SMART. I mean, SMART goals to me were, I know we talked about that earlier.
Right.
I just sometimes find, again, with the belief is sometimes we're locked in with a lot of that logical
Yes.
left brain thinking when we're setting these smart specific goals, and it's kind of like a lot of checklists that
Yep.
we handle. And
Absolutely.
And I've run our business with a lot of smart goals, but I realize that when we can become a little daring,
Right.
people who really make things happen
Absolutely.
have been a little bit daring and a little bit unrealistic in some of their thought pattern.
Right.
And I don't mean to. I do mean to, so I know my husband will hate me for saying this because he's the biggest realist, and he keeps me grounded. But
There you
I
go.
like to fly, and
Uh-huh.
and I like to give people the opportunity to, because I've seen so many people create transformation
Yes.
and really make that decision, and I see their lives shift, and so that juices me, and it really empowers me
Right.
to really want to keep paying that forward. You think
Sure.
about people like. Do you think Christopher Columbus was realistic?
Absolutely not.
I mean, I know that's a far fetched.
but-
Do you think Bill Gates was realistic? in some of it?
Absolutely not.
And so
Right.
there is a little radicalness.
Sure.
And so how do we teach people to step outside the box a little bit?
Right. And that's something that we want people to embrace. It's always the crazy ones who are able to transcend and fly, essentially. When you spoke, I just want to dial back down to the habits that people make. So somebody comes in and they decide, like yourself, if we do a paleo challenge in the office and we talk to people about planning, it's not something where they can go to Dunkin' Donuts and they can get something that's paleo. It's just not going to happen anytime soon. So it really, the success comes down to planning. So then they're like, okay, well, I don't know how to cook. And our answer is, get a crock pot. You don't know how to cook, just throw everything in a crock pot and you can make multiple meals over multiple days. But it's truly what you and I talked about before. It's being in present time consciousness. And it's understanding what their values are. So this little old lady that we were talking about where you said she was 60 years old, I don't think she went into it thinking, I just want to lose weight. It may very well have been, I want to be able to play with my grandkids.
Right.
I want to run with them.
Right.
I haven't been able to run in 40 years.
Yeah, and I think what I have found, that more than what it is that they want to achieve or what they're looking for as far as the results they would like, it's the why.
The why.
It's not so much what they want, but why they want that, and why today. Why did they come up and say, tell me a little bit about this weight loss challenge?
Sure.
Something has been gnawing at them. The weight that they've been carrying around, or maybe it's just walking in and wanting to be in a certain level of health or have a certain level of performance that's better. Maybe it's an athlete that just was injured and he needs to get back on his game.
Absolutely.
There's a why that we all have when we make a decision to do something.
Very much so.
I say that we don't expect when people walk into our place that they're just looking for a parking spot and deciding to say, okay, I'm going to take time in my day just to kind of walk in and look around.
Sure.
Their time is precious to people. If they're taking time to pull over, park, and walk in, they have some kind of interest in improving themselves or feeling better. And so it's up to us to be able to connect with that person in such a way that we could really, bring an energy to them and make them feel, really what's important is them feel comfortable in our place. I think more than anything, a question that people ask is, will I feel comfortable in here?
Absolutely.
Will I stick to my program? And will I enjoy myself?
Absolutely.
Because I've tried so many times in the past and it just hasn't worked.
Right.
And so sometimes people are a little bit afraid of commitment because of their past and their references. And so if we could really make that person feel at home, make them feel comfortable, bring an energy that makes them feel a sense of, I could do this, I could do this here, and I'm going to have fun doing it.
Absolutely.
And we show them that the delay time, them getting that result is quick. I think if people don't, they like instant gratification.
Absolutely do.
And so the process of getting healthy and taking 20, 30 years or even 15 years of not taking care of yourself and reversing that in a month is is not something that happens overnight.
No, it is not. And it's not something that happened overnight. So
Right.
when we in talking to people, it's the same thing we're talking about. We get them to recognize that it's not going to take as long for them to get healthy, but it is going to be a process. It's not going to happen overnight. And that's a big deal in trying to give people their lives back.
Sure. But that's what you just said, that you do. That very moment that they make the decision, they have better control of their life.
Absolutely.
They wake up the next day, and every day,
Yep.
they're feeling better.
Every day.
Every day. So
Every day.
within 30 days, their energy is different.
Absolutely.
They are walking different. They are enjoying their family, and their thought patterns,
Yes.
their clarity is different.
Everything.
So
it's a ripple in everything in their life, that concentric ring that keeps going out further and further and further. And that person who what's the word, repelled people, is now changed their energy so dramatically that they are drawing people to them, which is remarkable. And we were talking about that.
Yeah, no, it's about, I think, it comes and play with the plan that you set for somebody, and, and then those rituals that they set, and how their habits begin to change
Yep.
in a way that is a process they enjoy. So understanding what people
Sure.
enjoy, and how
Yep.
are you going to incorporate certain foods that
Right.
they have once liked, but maybe in a healthier kind of a way. How do you
Absolutely.
replace certain things with things that they're going to really be able to...
Every food that is made has a healthy version of itself.
Absolutely.
Everything. And it's getting people to recognize it. And our taste buds have been so manipulated, and it's that perfect word, manipulated by fast food, that people don't know what sweet is. People don't know what savory is. And once they start to change their habits and then go back to try and drink that soda or eat those French fries or hamburger from a fast food place, it tastes like chemicals. It tastes terrible.
Right.
And it literally, that transformation we're talking about is less than 30 days. So when you set up like challenges in your facility, tell me a little bit about that and tell me how that works.
Well, if it's more of a we do weight loss challenges, we do fitness challenges,
Yep.
so they all have different protocol and different
Okay.
different situations.
Yep.
So I think with the weight loss challenge, we really are giving people an opportunity to have accountability. We talked a little bit earlier about community.
Yes.
So now we have a group of like-minded people who
Sure.
are on this mission together.
Yep.
You know, and individually they have their purpose, and the opportunity that they have on this challenge is to meet with certain key people in our facility that
Awesome.
are going to kind of check a little bit in with
Yep.
them on how their exercise program is going.
Sure.
Because we find that motivation stems from, what people are eating,
Right.
How much they're moving,
Sure.
and what kind of what we call life success. How do we incorporate
Absolutely.
the motivation or the life success into
Absolutely.
the whole picture? So we like to look at, what are they doing for their food intake? What are they taking in, and what are they enjoying?
Yep.
Can we take some of their favorite foods and teach them how to eat that in a healthier fashion?
Absolutely.
And if we can teach them how to do that, and then to layer it with eating it in a certain way,
Yes.
so that they're not craving certain foods, and
Sure.
they're not feeling like it's deficit driven.
Yep.
It's more empowering and
Absolutely.
energy lifting.
Right.
Then it really is a snowball effect. And people, I think that they think, have to go on a diet, and the first three letters of the word diet is pretty torturous. Who wants to die?
Right.
But and I know it's a cliche, but it's out there, and I
Yes.
think that that's what people push away, and that's
Absolutely.
the pushback, and that's why they're not successful.
Yep.
If you don't have a plan on how you can get somebody from where they are to where they want to be in a way that's going to empower them, it shuts down. It backfires.
So part of what we've seen in our office over the years is that plan is tied to accountability, which is tied to having a partner involved in them getting their health and wellness back. So a lot of times it's not the husband, because they go home and they say, "Oh, honey, I'm gonna go on a diet and we're gonna change everything we do," and the husband says, "I'm not changing anything."
So what do we do? Do we have to get rid of the husband?
No, no,
No.
no.
Okay.
So we actually go with our girlfriend and we say, hey, my husband's not listening to me, so you're my girl.
Right.
And what winds up happening, which is remarkable, and you've seen it, is that mom starts losing weight, starts feeling better, and guess who's sitting on the couch saying, I don't want to miss the boat. I better get on this boat. And I think the train's leaving the station.
Right.
So, and then the husband comes right along with that.
Yes, and and all kidding aside, I think it's important to teach our team and our members how to develop that support on the outside.
Absolutely.
Because inside the environment, it's great.
Yes.
They're motivated. They're doing what they need to do. The hardest part is getting in and doing the exercise, and they're eating well while they're there. If they're taking a shake when they leave.
Yep.
But you do have life outside.
Absolutely.
And if we don't teach how to build the community on the outside, it really has a downfall. You know, it's so easy to be influenced. I mean, your husband is one of your key people, or your wife is one of your key people in your life. And so if they're not supportive, it can be difficult. So we need to teach them how to do that and invite that opportunity.
Absolutely.
As difficult as it may seem in the beginning, everybody can have their own personal path, but I think that it comes from teaching them how to be influential and how to be impactful in the way that really can shift the dynamics. And because ultimately, you know, that whole environment, your family is everything. And
it's the whole, that's everything. That is everything. One of the things that we talked about is, and again, going back to that plan, is, Kathy, what are you going to say when you go home to your husband when he says, oh, I'm not eating that. What part of red meat is this piece of broccoli? I don't eat broccoli.
Right.
And in the planning part is where we allow them to see these stumbling blocks. And they're going to come.
Sure.
And when they understand, when people understand that, no matter what, if they're going to college, there's going to be a stumbling block. There's never, the path from A to B is never a straight line. We like to think it is. But there's always, you have to be able to overcome the obstacles in order to attain that goal or objective.
And it's baby steps. I think, you know, you can't go, some people go clean.
Yes.
And I know that you're probably very strong with that and you get a lot of commitment. I find that when people are at a place where they have not taken care of themselves and they need to lose 50, 60, a lot of weight.
Right.
You know, and they want to be successful.
Yes.
Sometimes going drastic.
Yes.
If they don't have the right support, can backfire quickly.
Right.
And so how do you take baby steps with them and teach them, give them healthy food education that teaches them how to enjoy some of their favorite foods in that healthier fashion, and show them how they can go home and maybe take some of the foods that they maybe were used to eating and make them different or use them in a different way. I know that with the paleo diet, there's some different restrictions that you have, right?
Right.
And so how do you really incorporate that in somebody's world?
That's a great thing. What we do, especially when we lecture about it, is baby steps. So if I were to tell you, okay, Kathy, today you're going home, you're telling Pete, no more bread, no more pasta, we're doing paleo, this is the greatest thing ever. He's going to look at you like you're from another planet. So we tell people, let's take a baby step. Let's try to go gluten-free to start. So let's eliminate the gluten, which is the protein that's in the bread and the pasta, and let's go gluten-free. And then after that, let's try a meal where we're not eating any gluten or you know, not gluten-free bread. So breakfast, we're just going to do sweet potatoes, eggs, and maybe some cauliflower or something like that. Or we're going to do bacon and eggs, or we're going to do something where we're not eating anything. So it's just incorporating baby steps as we go. And what we ask people, and what my wife and I found, and the people that have done it in the office, is that clarity is like the first thing that comes back. You know, when you're looking for a word, and it's you know, that It's there.
Yeah, you just can't get it out.
That goes away. It's like, wait a minute, I actually can think clearly now. So that's what we try to do, is try and set baby steps, because we know when we do these lectures and we have these challenges that people are going to go home and they've now got to broach this with their family members. And that's really tough.
Correct.
Like, hey, sweetie, we're giving up the pie, we're giving up the bread, there's no more, by the way, no more pizza.
Yeah.
This is Bayonne. I mean, how could you not eat pizza? But the reality is that you can take these baby steps and attain the goals that you're looking for. So that's what we do.
So if somebody was a pizza lover, what would be the alternative for them?
A gluten-free pizza.
And so
they're actually, believe it or not, you can get them. I think Domino's makes gluten-free. I mean, you could actually get them. A lot of the family pizzerias in town are making gluten-free pizza.
Yeah.
So and what I would tell people is load up on the veggies.
Right.
Put lots of veggies on it too. But for
there's a sexy pizza too. I don't know if you do a lot with dairy. Dairy's fine?
Yeah, dairy's okay.
Yeah. I tend to sometimes have a tolerance with dairy, so I always order it when I call Pizza Master. I'll say the sexy pizza.
Okay, what is that?
And it's topless, no cheese.
There you go.
And we sometimes we put salads and things on it, but
absolutely.
But and I think people knowing that there's an alternative, that they have to just ask, and if there's certain specific areas they can still enjoy some of the tastes of.
Absolutely.
And I don't think they're sacrificing. The sauce makes it, and spices make it.
Absolutely.
Right? So
absolutely,
it's teaching them those alternatives that really make it.
It really does, and that's what they need to know that's out there, and that's again part of the planning, because for most people, most of the time, Friday night I didn't plan we're going to go out to eat, or we're just grab a pizza, or we're just.
So you look for buildings that say gluten free?
You look for buildings that say gluten free. You haven't seen it? They're on Broadway.
No, I did not see that.
You missed it. Big sign.
I think we'll have to do it in the next show. We have to teach me how to cook, or
that would be a show.
That would be fun. Maybe you can come to the club and do that.
That would be funny.
That would be fun.
That would be awesome.
That would be fun. I know he said.
What do we got? 2 minutes?
Yes.
All right. So it is. Tell people where they can find you. As you are now the co-host, I need people to be able to get in touch with you as well. So generally, I tell people, call the office. Where can they find you if they want to look you up?
You can just come to the forum. You can look me up at the forum, the fitness center on between Broadway and Avenue C. I am there quite often, and if there's anything that I could do to kind of get you on the path to feeling in your absolute best and moving in the direction that you want to move in and having the energy and the vibrancy to feel alive, I would be honored and privileged to be able to help you do that.
Kathy, what's that phone number too at the forum?
My phone number at the forum is 201. It's 339-0050.
And the forum has the big gluten-free sign on it, right?
It does. I'm going to make sure you have that in the windows.
that was great.
No, I appreciate that. I love learning a little bit. I wasn't sure a lot. I don't know enough. Maybe the next time you can give me a little bit more insights of paleo.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Congratulations to our new co-host. We will have many different topics. You can find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Health and Wellness Show in Bayonne. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye.